الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على عبد الله ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. أما بعد. We begin, as always, with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by sending peace and blessings, salutations upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to teach us what will benefit us and to benefit us with what He teaches us and to increase us in knowledge. What we have to talk about today is the topic of Samah and Tasamuh. And broadly speaking, as a title for the evening, it's been entitled Tolerance, because that is that is one of the most easy ways of translating the word. But one of the things that I want to do tonight is to move a little bit away from a single translation in English and to talk more about the entire concept of Samah and Tasamuh, and all of what that word means, and examples, and how we implement it, and some of the misconceptions about it, and really get into the depth of what it means. Now, before that, we have to make a small introduction that this idea of being a person who is samah, a person who is easygoing, and a person who is tolerant, and a person who is easy to deal with. This is one of the characteristics which make up the akhlaq, the manners, and the behavior of a Muslim. And manners and behavior are very, very important in the religion of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ said in an authentic hadith narrated by Imam Ahmad and others, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ صَالِحَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The only thing that I was sent for is to perfect righteous manners. The only thing, إِنَّمَا, the only thing that I was sent for is to complete, to perfect Salih al-Akhlaq, having good manners. In another narration, Makarim al-Akhlaq, having the most noble of manners. Now when we come across this hadith, the first time we come across this hadith, it makes you stop a little bit and think. The Prophet ﷺ did many, many things. I mean, for example, we know that the primary message that He brought us was the worship of Allah alone and with no partner. He told us to perform the prayer, to establish the prayer, to give the zakah. How does that fit into this hadith that the only thing that I was sent for was to perfect good manners? The way that we understand this hadith is to say that Salih al-Akhlaq or Makarim al-Akhlaq, having honorable manners and good manners, is something which is very wide-reaching. It deals with the way that you behave and the way that you conduct yourself towards Allah. It deals with the way that you conduct yourself in you as a person in terms of your inner self. And it deals with the way that you deal with other people. So the term akhlaq or manners is something which can be applied across the whole of the religion of Islam. It can be applied to the way that you conduct yourself towards your Lord. Because the height of bad manners and the worst example of bad manners is for a person to make a partner with his Creator. Because if that Creator is the one who created him and bestowed blessings upon him and gave him everything that he needed and caused him to brought him to life and will cause him to die and will resurrect him again. The one that everyone needs, that creator, but that creator doesn't need anyone else. Then what example of bad manners could be worse than associating someone in partners with that creator who created you? And that is why the worst sin in Islam is the one which the Prophet ﷺ described, أَن تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ نِدًّا وَهُوَ خَلَقَكَ. That you make a partner with Allah when He is the one that created you. And as Allah said, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Don't make with Allah partners while you know. While you know that He is the one who created you and provides for you and sustains you and answers your prayers and so on and so forth. So the first, or if we look at akhlaq, we look at manners and dealings as being a wide, broad topic, a topic that deals with how you interact with other people, and how you interact first and foremost with your creator, and how you carry yourself, the characteristics that you have within yourself. And we understand why it is that the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ صَالِحَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The only thing that I was sent for was to perfect the best of manners, the most righteous, the most noble, the most honorable of manners. And what we're going to be talking about this evening, which is Samah and Tasamuh, it has really two aspects to it. Before we talk about the definition and before we really go into it and understand it. And like I said, I'm not going to use the word tolerance, only because tolerance is a part of Tasamuh. And it's not the only definition or the only part of it. It's just it's one word, which is a pretty good word to translate the term, but it's not, it doesn't give the whole picture that we can take from the Arabic word. I want you to think of this idea in two ways. I want you to think of it as a trait of character and as a way of dealing with people. Because in reality, As-Samah and Tasamuh are two things. They are a character trait which you have within yourself. I'm going to come to a hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, رَحِمَ اللَّهُ رَجُلًا سَمْحًا إِذَا بَاعَ سَمْحًا إِذَا اشْتَرَى سَمْحًا إِذَا قَضَى سَمْحًا إِذَا اقْتَضَى. That may Allah have mercy on a person who is samh. This person in himself, he has this characteristic in himself. This characteristic of being easygoing and easy, gentle with the people. So, in yourself, it's a characteristic that you can develop in yourself, like you can develop sabr, and like you can develop hilm, and like you can develop many, many other characteristics that are praiseworthy within Islam, bravery and so on. These are things that you develop within yourself. That's one aspect of them. Your character development, and a lot of what we're going to be talking about this evening is developing your character to integrate these positive characteristics and develop them. Because we know that it takes work. It's not an easy thing to do. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ وَإِنَّمَا الْحِلْمُ بِالتَّحَلُّمِ. That knowledge only comes from learning. And hilm has a link to Tasamuh. Hilm is where you don't rush to take people to account. Sometimes we translate this forbearing, but it means that you don't rush to punish people when they wrong you. The Prophet ﷺ said that hilm, it comes from tahallum, it comes from practicing it. So in other words, if you want to develop Tasamuh as a characteristic of yourself, and you want to have this kind of easy nature and tolerant nature and gentleness when it comes to how you interact with people, then that is something that you have to develop in yourself, you have to work on. It's not something that comes into you like that you're just, you're just automatically that kind of person. You have to develop these character traits and you have to work on them. The other aspect is the aspect of mu'amala, because the word tasamuh is of course upon the Arabic pattern tafa'ul, and tafa'ul in Arabic, it means to do something to someone and for them to do the same thing back, like reciprocal, in a reciprocal way. Any word that follows the pattern tafa'ul in Arabic, it all applies to the same thing applies, it's reciprocal. So the idea of tasamuh is taking samah, which is the original internal characteristic which we're going to talk about. We'll find an English word for it later on. But taking this characteristic of samah within yourself and applying it in a reciprocal way, so that you do it to people and they do it to you. And that's on more of that deals with the mu'amala, that deals with how you interact with people and how you integrate with people and how you transact with people, how you deal with people at home, in the family, in the workplace, in terms of how you exchange, whether it be views, whether it be money, whether it be whatever it is that you're exchanging, that you do so in a way that is gentle and easygoing on each other. And for sure we're going to talk about as-samaha and tasamuh as it relates to the Prophet ﷺ in his life. And we're also going to talk about it as it relates to Muslims and non-Muslims as well. As well as that, we also need to talk about misconceptions that relate to tasamuh, because especially when we, and I do think that you get this less in Arabic and more in English, that when we use a word like tolerance, sometimes the word itself can become hijacked by ideals and ideologies and ideas that don't come from within Islam at all. They actually come from outside of Islam and have nothing to do with Islam. They don't exist within the Arabic term itself, but they just exist within the minds of people who are unconnected to this deen, this religion of Islam. So we should clarify some of the misconceptions that relate to tolerance or tasamuh or being easygoing with other people. So let's look at, first of all, as-samaha. As-samaha, brothers and sisters, is the original characteristic that tasamuh comes from. This word tasamuh that we hear, this word that has been translated as tolerance, is effectively applying samaha reciprocally. Applying samaha in a way that you do it to someone and they do it to you. So we have to start with the original characteristic. The original characteristic in Arabic is called as-samaha. And as-samaha in the Arabic language, it refers to as-suhula, ease, being easy, being someone who is sahil, someone who is easy with other people. And someone who is, and let me find, I had a good translation for it. Someone who is salis, someone who is gentle, and someone who is relaxed and easy in the way that they interact with people. And al-musamaha is al-musahala. So it comes back to certain core meanings. One of the meanings of this word, the core meanings, is jada wa a'ta, is to be generous and giving. So one of the linguistic meanings, you haven't got into the Islamic meaning of the word, linguistically, to be someone who is generous and giving. That's the first one. And the second one is to be in accordance with the way that people would like you to be. To be someone who meets people's expectations. Because generally, how do you want the person you interact with to be? You want them to be somebody gentle, you want them to be easygoing, you want them to be relaxed with you. So it refers to being easygoing, it refers to being generous and giving, and it refers to meeting other people's expectations of you. If we go to the technical or the Islamic meaning of this attribute of our personality. Then we have two meanings. The first one is that Samah, it means to give something that was not obligatory out of your generosity. And that meaning is actually very important for us, because it's much more than about giving something by your hand. Look, take this here, you will take it in your hand. It's not about that. It's about there being something that you didn't have to do. You didn't have to give it. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to let it go. But out of your generosity and grace, you gave it. You let it go. You didn't hold the person to account for it. So the first meaning is to give something which is not obligatory. If you give something which is obligatory, you don't call it Samah. You don't say this person is someone who is Samah. He is really easygoing. If you give the wage on time, you give it on time. And you know when somebody comes to ask you for something that is theirs, you return it to them. That's not Samah. That's not Samah, because here we're talking about obligatory. You had to give it to him anyway. You were supposed to pay the wage on time anyway. But the one who pays the wage earlier than the contract, the one who gives more than he said he would give, the one who when someone comes back to pay the debt, he says, it's okay, I don't want the money back. The one who when it said that this is the time to pay back the debt, he says, it's okay, you can have another year, I don't mind. What was obligatory on him, he did, but he went more than the obligatory. And so, as-Samah is from the characteristics of al-Ihsan. And Ihsan is the highest level of Iman, of the three maratib of Islam and Iman and Ihsan. So at the basic level you have Islam. At this basic level of Islam, what are you doing? You're doing the minimum that it takes to be a Muslim. That's it. You've got big flaws, issues, but you're doing the minimum. When you talk about Iman, now you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And when you talk about Ihsan, you're exceeding the obligatory. You're going beyond what is required of you into the virtues and the extras and the optional and the voluntary and the charitable. You're going beyond the obligatory. And so someone who is Samah, a person who has this characteristic of Samah, this is a person who has, from their characteristics, is Ihsan. They give when they don't have to give. They withhold when they don't have to withhold. They let things go that they're not even required to let go. They're gentle when Allah gives them permission to be strict. Still, they are easygoing people. And the second meaning of as-Samah is the one that comes close to the meaning of tolerance, and that is Tasamuh مع الغير في معاملات مختلفة. And that is to be a person that is lenient and gentle and tolerant when dealing with other people. How does this happen? By making things easy for them, by being lenient towards them, and not by not having al-qahr, not being someone who forces issues with people, and who kind of demands and requires and pushes for the things that are theirs. So, we actually see here that tolerance as a word is only a tiny part of this wider characteristic of as-Samah and Tasamuh. So we just recap that we said linguistically we had to be gentle and easy, to be generous and giving, and to exceed people's expectations. And in a technical sense, to give that which is not obligatory out of your generosity, and to be easygoing and tolerant with other people in all different kinds of dealings. So do you remember that we said that this has two aspects to it? It has an internal aspect in terms of your personal, your nature, your identity, and your character. Being someone who is gentle and forgiving, and someone who lets things go, and someone who is halim. You don't take people to account quickly for what they do. And likewise, the way you interact with other people as well. The way that you interact with other people expresses this characteristic within yourself. So this is the linguistic and the technical definition of Samah and Tasamuh. So what about, before we talk about that, there is one point that I want to make. There's one important point that I want to highlight, and I did have this written down to talk about it later on, but it's so important, I want everyone to understand it from the beginning. The biggest misconception, or the biggest error people make when it comes to Tasamuh is that they let things go that are not in their authority and not in their right to let go. For example, is it allowed for me to be tolerant and to be gentle with the rights of Allah Azza wa Jalla? For me to say to someone else, hey, you want to worship an idol? Go ahead and worship the idol. I'm a person who is Samah. I'm relaxed, I'm easygoing. La Allah. Because it's not in my haqq, it's not my right to let something go which is Allah's right. Likewise, I can't let go the right of someone else that is not my right. For example, someone did a wrong to my neighbor, and I say to them, it's okay, I've forgiven you. I can't let go of something that is the right of someone else, and especially not the right of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that is why, and I brought you a hadith so you really understand this. It's a very, very important hadith from Aisha radiallahu anha. She said, and I'll just read you the end of the hadith. She said, وَلَا خُيِّرَ بَيْنَ أَمْرَيْنٍ قَطْ إِلَّا كَانَ أَحَبَّهُمَا إِلَيْهِ أَيْسَرَهُمَا إِلَّا أَنْ يَكُونَ إِثْمًا فإذا كان إثما كان أبعد الناس من الإثم ولا انتقم لنفسه من شيء يؤتى إليه حتى تنتهك حرمات الله عز وجل. Aisha radiallahu anha, she described the nature of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, he was never given a choice between two things except that the most beloved of those two things was the easier of the two, unless it was sinful. But if it was sinful, he was the furthest of the people away from it. And he did not take anyone to account for something that was done to him, unless it was from the things which Allah had made haram. So what do we see here? We see the samah and the tasamuh of the Prophet ﷺ in the things that relate to his own rights. In the things that relate to the things he is permitted by Allah to let go. In other words, it's my right. The only person you have harmed is me. I can let it go. It's my debt, or it's a debt that's owed to me. I can let it go. But if someone came and said, I owe a debt to Allah, it's not for the Prophet ﷺ to say, I let it go. If someone came and said, O Messenger of Allah, like the young man, he came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, O Messenger of Allah, give me permission to commit zina. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say, we are tolerant of the people and we let things go and let you do what you want and you let me do what I want. When it came to the haram, he became strict on it. And he used to get angry for it. And he used to push people on it. And he used to not tolerate people to deviate into what Allah Azza wa Jalla had made haram. And that is the beautiful balance of Islam. Islam is not a religion that is all about softness and gentleness. nor is it a religion about harshness and severity. It is a religion that calls for softness when softness is required, and harshness when harshness is required. But softness is predominant over harshness. That means that softness is the first port of call, and the first way that we deal with people is with softness and gentleness and tolerance and ease. And when that isn't appropriate, the other options are also available to us. So this is the biggest misconception that people have about Tasamuh, is that they make Tasamuh, they are tolerant and forgiving and gentle about things that they are not permitted to be tolerant about, from the rights of Allah Azza wa Jal and from the rights of other people. Like I said, if somebody attacks my neighbor, it's not in my right for me to forgive him, because it's not something that was done to me that I can forgive. It was done to him. I can encourage him to forgive, but I can't speak for his right that belongs to him. And likewise, I can't speak for the rights of Allah. No one is more forgiving than Allah Azza wa Jal. No one is more forbearing than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is more merciful than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Allah Azza wa Jal has promised to forgive is greater than you can imagine. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overlooks is so immense that you can't find words to describe it except with what He described Himself with. But at the same time, what Allah Azza wa Jal has made haram, that is not for us to be lenient and gentle about. And that's why Aisha said when the Prophet ﷺ was given a choice between two things, he used to love the easy one of the two, unless it was haram. But if it was haram, he was the furthest of the people away from the haram. Again, when it comes to taysir, ease and making things easy for people, it's another misconception that people have. Is what happens is, they commit sins, and when you ask them why you are committing this sin, they say, we're making it easy for myself. You don't have the right to make it easy on yourself by committing a sin. But when it comes to a choice between two things that are halal, then you have the right to make it easy on yourself. Then you have the right to forgive and let it go. Then you have the right to be gentle and to be easygoing with the people. And like we said, even though Islam has both sides, the ease and the tolerance and the gentleness is predominant over the strictness and the harshness, meaning it's more weighty, it's more heavy, and it's the first step that we take when dealing with other people. Our principle is that we deal with people based upon at-taysir, tasamuh, being easy and being gentle and being tolerant with people. That's our basic way that we deal with other people. When it comes to something that Allah Azza wa Jal has made forbidden, then in that case it's not in my right to be easygoing with a person when it comes to the haram, what Allah has made haram. And that can be taken also from the hadith of Nu'man ibn Bashir, in which the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أَلَا إِنَّ لِكُلِّ مَلَكٍ حِمًا أَلَا إِنَّ حِمَ اللَّهِ مَحَارِمُ. He said, every king has private land. You can't find a king or an amir or a sheikh in this dunya that doesn't have private land, right? A private palace, keep out, this is my private land. Every single king has private land. And the private area that is Allah has prohibited you from entering are the sins. This is private to Allah Azza wa Jalla. If Allah made it sinful, that is Allah's private matter. That is not for you to go and enter into the haram and to get involved in it and to find yourself among it. Because that is private to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has chosen to make it forbidden, and so you have to respect that the King of all kings and the sovereign of all sovereigns has made that king haram to you. And so you have no option to maneuver within that haram except to keep away from it and to keep others away from it. So once we've understood that, we can get the most out of this topic of Tasamuh, because it is a topic that Islam gave a great deal of importance towards. So let us look first of all at the Quran and what the Quran says about Tasamuh, about being tolerant and forgiving and easygoing and lenient and gentle with people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in Surah Al-A'raf in ayah number 199, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. He said, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ. And here I'm going to read you what Imam Sa'di, he said in his tafsir, rahimahullah ta'ala. He said, هذه الآية جامعة لحسن الخلق مع الناس. This ayah is a comprehensive ayah about the way that you have good manners with other people. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي فِي مُعَامَلَتِهِمْ, and what it is appropriate to deal with them in, or how it is appropriate to deal with them. He said, so how it is appropriate to deal with people is to have al-afu, is to be someone who pardons. And he said here, he brings here, and the reason we brought the ayah is because Imam Sa'di here, he said the meaning of pardoning is to have Samah. The meaning of pardoning is to be someone who is gentle and easygoing and lets things go. So a huge part of Tasamuh that we're talking about this evening and Samah is letting things go. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ. People constantly do things that towards you that they shouldn't. People constantly encroach on your personal rights in things that are not necessarily a right of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's within your permission to and within your ability to let it go. And we're going to see examples from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Like for example, just to give one, like the example of the Bedouin. He came to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ was wearing a cloak around his neck. And he took hold of the cloak and he pulled it so hard that the neck of the Prophet ﷺ became bruised. And he said, Ya Muhammad! It's not how you address the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. But they were harsh people from the desert. They used to dealing with the camels, and we know that when you spend your time in the desert and you're dealing with camels, you become a hard-hearted, kind of harsh sort of person. Because camels are hard to deal with, unlike sheep, when the prophets were shepherds and they were gentle and easygoing with the people. So the Bedouins would come, and he took hold of the cloak of the Messenger of Allah, and he pulled it so hard that he bruised the side of his neck. And the narrator said, he said, I saw the discomfort, and I saw that it was causing pain to the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, Ya Muhammad, give me some of the money that Allah has given you. He didn't come and say, oh Muhammad, I've come to ask you about Iman, I've come to ask you about Jannah. He said, Allah has given you money, I give it. The Prophet ﷺ smiled at him and commanded for him to be given the money. This is a beautiful example of being easygoing and forgiving the people. The person had good in them, inshallah, we hope so. And the Prophet ﷺ, what was done to him was done to him it was from his personal rights. It's within his right to say, I forgive you. Whenever anything was in his rights to forgive someone and overlook someone doing something to him, that's what he would do. But when it was the right of Allah, then he would become angry. And it's narrated in some of the ahadith, the Prophet ﷺ never became angry for something that was his own personal right. He never became angry for something that was his personal right. It was only when it was the right of Allah Azza wa Jalla that he became angry. So, to be a person who is samh, to have al-afu, one of the things that Imam Sa'di said from this ayah is to overlook what other people do to you. To overlook what other people do to you. And this is something I think we're going to come back to again and again, because it is a fundamental part of this, is that people often accidentally, or because of their ignorance, they do something that would hurt you or harm you. Be a person who is gentle and who overlooks. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ, and turn away from the ignorant. Sometimes the ignorant people do things to you out of ignorance. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When the ignorant people address them, they say salam. And when an ignorant person speaks to you and behaves to you in an ignorant way, you don't respond with more ignorance or with sort of harshness and violence and so on. You respond to them by saying salam. Salam upon you. Oh, take it easy. Be a person who's easy going with the people. He said that this is still Imam Sa'di he said وَمَا سَهُلَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ الْأَعْمَالِ وَالْأَخْلَاقِ, or he said وَمَا سَهَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ الْأَعْمَالِ وَالْأَخْلَاقِ, that this is a person, what a person is doing is having the manners and the dealings with people that are built upon ease. And this is a fundamental principle. And in fact, later on, if we have time, inshallah, we're going to talk about how Samah is a characteristic of Islam, not just a characteristic of the Muslims. That Allah's Sharia can be described as being Shari'atun Samah. It is a Sharia which is extremely easygoing and gentle and tolerant, and it's easy. It's an easy Sharia. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرِ. Allah wants to make things easy for you. He doesn't want to make things difficult for you. So whenever Islam had a way to make something easy for you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy for you. That's because the religion of Islam is a religion in itself which is samah. It's a religion in itself which is lenient and gentle and easy going on the people. And that doesn't mean that it lets you do the haram. That means that wherever there is an opportunity for ease, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives it to you. And like that, the Prophet ﷺ told us that Allah Azza wa Jalla loves for you to take His rukhas, His leniency that He gives you. Like when He lets you break your fast when you're traveling, Allah loves you to break your fast when you're traveling. Some people say, SubhanAllah, what do you mean when I'm traveling? Allah loves me to break it. Allah loves you to break your fast when you're traveling. Allah Azza wa Jalla loves for you to take easy options when you have an option. Allahumma, unless the travel is so easy that you don't notice it, in which case it's better to fast. But in general, when Allah Azza wa Jalla told you can wipe over your socks, in wudu, Allah loves for you to do it. Don't think Allah loves for you more to take off your socks and wash your feet. Allah loves for you to do the things that He's made easy for you. Because this religion of Islam is a religion that is samah. It's a religion that is extremely gentle and easygoing and lenient and tolerant. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ, take to pardoning the people. وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ, and command the people with al-urf. Al-urf here is one of two things. Al-urf is either that which is good, meaning command people to do that which is good, or al-urf here is what is customary, meaning behave in a way that is customary with people. And that's also a part of as-samah and tasamuh, is to bear in mind al-urf wal-muru'ah, to bear in mind the way that people expect you to deal with them, and the norms in the society, and the sort of normal behaviors and manners and customs, as long as they don't contradict Islam. So there are all sorts of customs in different societies and cultures that you have, and as long as those customs don't contradict Islam, they are also a part of as-samah and tasamuh, that you respect other people's cultures and customs, as long as they do not involve harm. And there is no harm in that, and Islam has given the most perfect example of tolerance as it relates to people's customs and cultures, as long as they do not contradict the issue of the haram, they don't fall into the issue of the haram, then what you eat, what you wear, your custom in terms of the way, the things that, the gatherings and the sort of, what's the word, the different gatherings people have, the occasions people have, and things like that. Islam is very lenient and tolerant about them, about the issues of the urf, as long as it does not fall into the haram, and turn away from the ignorant. Another example, which the scholars of tafsir, they put forward for as-samah in the Quran, is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jalla in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 237. وَإِن طَلَّقْتُمُوهُنَّ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَن تَمَسُّوهُنَّ وَقَدْ فَرَضْتُمْ لَهُنَّ فَرِيضَةً فَنِصْفُ مَا فَرَضْتُمْ إِلَّا أَن يَعْفُونَ أَوْ يَعْفُوَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ عُقْدَةُ النِّكَاحِ وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَنسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Brief translation of the ayah, and we'll talk about what Ibn Ashur rahimahullah ta'ala said about the ayah, because he brought this ayah as being an example of a samah and a tasamuh, an example of being easygoing and lenient and gentle and tolerant. And first of all, the translation of the ayah. And if you divorce them before you have touched them, and you had already given them their mahar, you had already assigned the mahar for them, then half of what you had given for them, unless they forgive, or the one whose hand the nikah is in forgives. And for you to forgive is closer to taqwa. And do not forget the fadl which is between you, and the virtue or the grace, the way that you behave towards each other. Indeed, Allah is all seeing of what you do. So this ayah is talking about talaq. It's talking about talaq in a case where the couple have not been alone together in a situation where intimacy could have occurred. So they've gotten married as a contract, but they haven't been alone together as a husband and wife. And so for that reason, now the husband, he wishes to divorce his wife. But he's already assigned a mahar for her. He's already assigned a dowry. It should be called a dowry, not a dowry, because it's from the husband to the wife, and not from the wife to the husband. So the husband has already assigned a dowry to her. So he is required to give half. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, and this is where the tasamuh comes in, إِلَّا أَن يَعْفُونَ, unless the woman, she says, I don't want the half. Or the man, he says, I want to give you all of it. So here we have tasamuh. We have an example of the two people together. Either the woman, she says, I don't want any of the mahar. Or the man says, I'm going to give you the whole mahar. What is obligatory? Because remember, we said tasamuh in its essence is to go beyond the obligatory, to go into that which is voluntary and charitable. So here the obligatory is Allah Azza wa Jal obliges the man that he must give half of what he had assigned to her. So he had said, I'm going to give you, for example, 20,000 dirhams. Then they didn't end up getting married. The contract was broken before they got married properly. He's required to give her 10,000 dirhams. He has to. Unless she says, I don't want any of it. Or he says, I'm going to give you all of it. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. And for you men to give the woman all of it is closer to taqwa. Taqwa is to do what Allah commanded you to do and to keep away from what Allah commanded you to keep away from, and to protect yourself from Allah's punishment and His curse. The closer thing to righteousness and piety and fearing Allah is for the man to give the whole amount. Now let's listen to what Ibn Ashur rahimahullah ta'ala, he said. He said, the meaning of forgiving, being closer to taqwa, he said, is that forgiving this amount, letting it go, is closer to taqwa than just doing what is right. Because just doing what is right does not negate taqwa. But it does lead to a person being quite firm and quite sort of staunch on this issue. He becomes firm and he becomes staunch. But forgiving leads to samah. It leads to the person being gentle and tolerant and easygoing. And it leads to rahmah, the person being merciful. And the heart, whose nature is samah, its nature is to be tolerant and lenient, and its nature is to be merciful, is closer than the heart, which is strong and firm upon the minimum, just the truth that it is required to be strong and firm upon. This is a beautiful statement that he says. He says at the end, he says that the heart, which is brought up upon kindness and tolerance, is a heart that doesn't find it easy to oppress and to be harsh and hard. So taqwa is closer to it. So what Ibn Ashur is saying here is he's saying that if a person simply sticks to the truth here, if a person simply sticks to the truth, they have done what Allah has made obligatory upon them. Allah said, give half, give half. I've done what Allah told me to do. But the person who gives all is a person whose heart is soft and gentle and tolerant and easygoing. That person not only gets the truth, but they also get softness and mercy in the heart. And softness and mercy in the heart is something which is a beautiful, natural characteristic that a person develops within their heart, to be soft and gentle. That heart is closer to taqwa than the heart who simply gives what is required and that's it. Because the heart that just gives what is required, the heart is a good heart. It's a heart of iman. It's a heart that has iman in it. It's not a heart that necessarily is really soft. That heart can still be a little bit firm, a little bit staunch. The woman comes and says, well, I have need of the money. Or the father of the bride comes and says, my daughter has need of the money. It wasn't our fault the marriage broke up. Qadar Allah, it didn't work out. Give the whole amount. He says, Allah said give half, take half. Or the heart who says, take all of it. There is no doubt that the heart that says take all of it is closer to taqwa because it's softer and more gentle and more merciful. Even though the heart that gave half of it, that is perfectly acceptable. So what Ibn Ashur here is saying, and I just really want to emphasize it for you, is that there is a difference when we talk about tasamuh. The real difference is going beyond what is obligatory and letting go of what is yours. That is the real essence of it. Because that person, they do not have to give the whole amount. But when they give the whole amount, that is closer to taqwa because it not only brings the truth, but it also brings softness and kindness and gentleness to the heart. Our next ayah, which talks about the benefits of Tasamuh and Samah, is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jalla in Surah Al-Imran, ayah number 159. فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, so by mercy with Allah, so by mercy from Allah, you were soft with them. And if you were harsh and hard-hearted, they would have ran from around you. So overlook what they do and seek forgiveness for them and consult them in their affairs. SubhanAllah. By a mercy from Allah, you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, were soft with the people around you. The Prophet ﷺ was extremely soft with the people. And the softness here is a lean, someone being laid in. And remember when we said what is samah? We went back to the linguistic definition. We said that when a person is layyin, a person is gentle and easygoing with other people, that is what a samah means. So by a mercy from Allah, you were gentle with them. You were soft, you were easygoing with them. And if you were harsh and hard-hearted, they would have ran from around you. And that shows you that Tasamuh and Samah are characteristics that when they are found in a person, they make people love them. And this is something that we're going to mention later on from the praiseworthy characteristics of being lenient and tolerant and easygoing with people, is that it brings the love of the people for you and for what you say. When you're easygoing with people. And remember, when we say easygoing, we don't mean that you do the haram, and we don't mean that you just do what Allah made obligatory for you. So for example, if you give me salam and I return the salam, that is not tasamuh. That's just me doing the obligatory. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told me. But when a person gives someone time and stops with them and talks to them and smiles at them and listens to their worries and tries to help them out with their problems, this is an example of someone who has the characteristic of samah, of being gentle and lenient and easy with the people. And Imam Sa'di, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, explaining this ayah, he said, by Allah's mercy to you and to your companions, Allah blessed you by making you soft towards them and gentle or lenient towards them. And that you have the most excellent manners, because we know that the Prophet ﷺ said about him, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You are in the highest standard of character. So they gathered around you, and they loved you, and they followed your command. Look at what happened. Imam Sa'di said, when this person had samah, what happened? When the Prophet ﷺ had samah, what happened? His companions gathered around him. His companions loved him. And his companions listened to him. And this is, wallah, a lesson for all of us, even in our dealings with the family. Be a person who is samah with your family. Have tasamuh within your family. Be a person who's easy and gentle, who's hayyin and layyin. As we're going to hear later on from the Sunnah, is that the Prophet ﷺ said that the fire is prohibited for the person who part of his characteristic is that he is hayyin layyin. He is easy with the people and he's gentle and soft when he deals with people. So that doesn't mean that you let your family do the haram, because we said that is the biggest misconception of tasamuh, is that you can allow someone and say, and let someone go and do something which is haram. But here, for you within your family, to just be gentle and easygoing, not to be the one that is harsh and the one that is, always has the stick in the hand, and the one that everybody fears, and the one that everybody has, that has that kind of relationship, but instead be the person who's easygoing. We're going to hear that the Prophet ﷺ, he never said to his servant, and he never said to any of his wives, and he never said to any of his children, why did you do this or why didn't you do this? Meaning, if he sent them on a command and then say to them, what, you didn't bring this for me? Why didn't you bring this for me? He was easygoing because it's one of his rights. But when it came to the rights of Allah, then he was firm when it came to the rights of Allah. So the children grew up respecting what Allah made haram, but also knowing that their parent was easy going when it came to the things that related to him. And we're going to hear later on about Anas ibn Malik, when the Prophet sent him out on a job. And Anas got distracted and started playing with the children in Medina. And the Prophet himself had to go out and complete that job. So when he found Anas, he got hold of him and he said to him, did you do that thing that I told you to do? And Anas said, I'm doing it now, O Messenger of Allah. And he was a young boy, and he started playing with the boys, and he forgot about the errand that he was sent on. SubhanAllah, how would you behave towards your children if they did that? Knowing that the Messenger of Allah, his errands are not easy like yours. They are errands of incredible importance. He's the head of state. And he sent Anas on a job of extreme importance. And yet Anas is playing with the boys in the street. And he doesn't shout at him, and he doesn't, come down on him, because it's within his rights to let it go. So he smiles at him and he lets him go. That was the nature of the Prophet ﷺ in terms of his tolerance and being easygoing with people. So they loved him because of that. And when he told them to do something, they did it. The reason that they did it is because of that easy nature that he had within him. And if you were fadhan, if you were harsh, Sa'di here says, Sayyidul khuluq, if you had bad manners with them, and if you were hard-hearted, you weren't merciful with them, they would have ran from around you. When the people came and they were rough with you and they were harsh with you and they spoke to you out of turn, and if you were harsh back with them, they would have ran away. But they came into Islam because you were soft and gentle and easygoing with them. And the last ayah from the Quran that we're going to mention before we talk about from the Sunnah is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, وَإِنْ كَانَ ذُو عُسْرَةٍ فَنَذِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ وَأَنْ تَصَدَّقُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 280. That if the person, this is speaking about the person who has a debt, if this person is going through financial difficulty, then give them time until it becomes easy for them to pay you back. And if you give it as charity, it is better for you if you only knew. This ayah contains the characteristic of Samah and Tasamuh as it relates to financial dealings. So this is a case where somebody owes you money, and you have a contract with them that says that they have to pay you on a certain day. And so you go back to them and you say that the day has come for you to pay me this amount of money. The person says, look, I'm going through some difficulty. Can you give me a little extra time? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if this person is ذو عسرة, he's in financial difficulty, فَنَذِرًا, wait a while. فَنَذِرًا, wait a while. Until things, إِلَى مَيْسَرًا, until things become easier for him. Wait a while until things become easier for him. This is a perfect example of Samah and Tasamuh, because it's an example of going beyond what is obligatory on you. Because the obligatory thing is you come to claim back your debt. You didn't take riba, you didn't take haram, you did it in the right way, you've come to ask for your money back, it's the time for your money back, you have the right to get your money back. You have the right to go to the Qadi and say he hasn't paid me back on time, you need to take that money from him. You have the right to go to the judge, but instead you say, you know what it is, take another month, take another 2 months. Tell me when it's easy for you, don't worry about it. And then Allah Azza wa Jal says, but if you give it in charity, meaning you say to him, don't pay me back at all, this is better for you if you only knew. Say to the person that, what it is, I'm not in need of it anyway. You take that as a charity, inshallah ta'ala, this will help you to get back on your feet, and things will become easier for you. فَنَذِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ وَأَنْ تَصَدَّقُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. So Allah Azza wa Jal is encouraging us to have this samaha in ourselves, this easy-going nature, this gentle-going nature, where you let people off and you let people go, and you forgive people and you give in charity. All of this comes from the gentle nature of a person and making things easy for other people. We'll probably cover only one hadith before we break for Maghrib. We might be able to cover 2. And the hadith we're going to cover is the hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah, again just talking about Samah and Tasamuh in Islam. The hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, رحم الله رجلا سمحا إذا باع سمحا إذا اشترى سمحا إذا قضى سمحا إذا اقتضى. Jabir narrated that the Messenger of Allah said, may Allah have mercy on a person. This is the dua of the Prophet for Allah to have mercy on a person. This indicates that this characteristic that is going to come is a very praiseworthy characteristic that is going to get you the rahmah of Allah. Bearing in mind that you can only enter Jannah by Allah's rahmah. You cannot do enough good deeds to enter Jannah. You can't. Whatever you try to do, however many good deeds you aim to do, you are not able to do them unless Allah has mercy on you and enters you into Jannah by His mercy. They said, not even you, O Messenger of Allah. He said, not even me. Unless Allah encompasses me with His mercy. So we are in desperate need of the mercy of Allah. It's impossible. Whatever good deeds you do, live the life of the most righteous person on the face of this earth, you will not enter Jannah without Allah's mercy. The Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah have mercy on a man who is Samah. Samah is the same word as Tasamuh. This one that we have here, this tolerance, it's the same word. May Allah have mercy on a man who is Samah. He is easygoing, lenient, tolerant in 4 situations. إِذَا بَاعَ إِذَا اشْتَرَى إِذَا قَضَى إِذَا اقْتَضَى. First of all, إِذَا بَاعَ, when he sells something. When he sells something. So when he's selling something, he's easygoing. He doesn't drive a very, very hard bargain that breaks people. And subhanAllah, wallahi, this is the opposite of what you think of when you think of a businessman. This is completely the opposite. So anyone who is involved in business needs to get this whole, hard sell and, I'm going to crush the opposition and I'm going to break them and they need to get this out of their head. Because this is not the characteristic of a Muslim businessman. This is the characteristic of some of the people outside of our religion who have this kind of mentality. That I go into a market to destroy my competitors and to break and to take every last dirham of profit from everyone that I can. Prophet didn't say that. He said, may Allah have mercy on someone who is easygoing and lenient and tolerant when he sells things. That doesn't mean he's not looking to make a profit. Of course he's looking to make a profit. That doesn't mean that he sells it for cost price or below cost price. But when he sells it, he's not looking to break other people and smash them up. He's not looking to bankrupt the opposition. He's not looking to destroy people's livelihoods. He's not looking to completely crush the rest of the market. He's a person who's easygoing. So when he sells something, he sells it for a good price, a fair price, but he doesn't drive a bargain that really hurts the other person. He's an easygoing and lenient person. He deserves the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla, because this is a difficult situation to be merciful. It's not the human characteristic. When we're in that situation, our characteristic is to get every last dirham that we can get out of the other person and to drive the hardest bargain possible. And likewise from this is that a person doesn't hoard products and goods to drive up the prices. They don't, for example, when there's a shortage of, like you see, subhanAllah, like in some places there's a shortage of a particular product. Like there might be a shortage of rice or wheat in a particular country and the people are struggling. And you see certain people hoarding. They put it all in a warehouse and you drive up the price until we're getting 10 times, 20 times the value, and then I'll sell it to the people. That's not a person who is samah. That's not a person who is easygoing and gentle with people. He sees that people need it, he makes a profit. But he makes a profit that is reasonable and fair and is easy when he sells to the people. Likewise, in the negotiations, when he's negotiating, he isn't the one who starts swearing by Allah, Wallahi, if I don't sell it for this amount, I've lost. Wallahi, like, he's not this person. When he's dealing with people and he's selling things to people, he is Samah. He's a person who is easy and gentle and lenient and tolerant. The person says, look, I give you this much. Tell you what it is. Give me a little bit more. Look. And he's got a smile on his face in the negotiation. He's not the one who hits his hand on the desk, or the one who curses and swears, or the one who swears by Allah 20 times that I bought it for this price when he knows that he's lying. He's a person who is gentle and easygoing. You want to give that for me? Take it. Go on. He's a gentle and easygoing person when he buys. Samhan idha ishtara, and when he, well, not just when he sells, but when he purchases. So when he purchases, he's the same. You see sometimes some people, mashallah, they're very good at getting a bargain, but it can go too far. And we've seen it, when there's a negotiation on a price, and the person drives it down to the point where they know they're making a hardship for that individual. And they go at particular times. They go at the time when they know that person hasn't made a lot of sales that day, and they're really, struggling, and they need the money. And he gives them a price that he knows is going to make it hard for the person who's selling. And he knows that person is maybe getting commission. It's only a small amount going to come to him. But he drives the price lower and lower just because he can. That's not the description of a person who is samhan idha ishtara. The one who is samhan idha ishtara, if someone offers him a fair price for something, he buys it at the fair price. He might try and get it a little bit lower. There's nothing wrong with having it, trying to get it a little bit lower. The buyer's trying to get a little bit, the seller is getting a bit higher, the person who's buying is trying to get a bit lower. That's natural. But when he gets a fair price, that's fine. That's a good price. If it's a good price, I'll buy it. Not a person who is trying to drive people into poverty when he buys something. And you see this in big companies as well as on an individual level. You don't just see it in the marketplace. You see in big companies, when a big company comes and they know that they have leverage over a small company. That small company, they're their only, for example, the only customer, or one of their few big customers. So they start demanding a price that is so low that they know for a fact that they're causing severe harm to that company. But because they're a big company with big purchasing power, they want to drive the money down to the absolute minimum. And that again is not the attribute of a Muslim. Again, if a person agrees to it and the buyer agrees to it, it's not haram. But it's not the attribute, it's not a praiseworthy attribute of a person who deserves Allah's mercy. The one who is deserving of getting Allah's mercy in this hadith is the one who is easygoing. He wants a fair price, he even wants a bargain. There's nothing wrong with wanting a bargain. But he doesn't drive the price to a level where it hurts the other person. He drives it to a level where he knows he's getting a good deal for himself, a good profit for himself, a good profit for his customers, but he doesn't drive it to the level where it causes harm to somebody else. And unfortunately, this idea of being cutthroat in business is an idea that sadly pervades the world, the world of commerce and the world of business, is the concept that you have to be cutthroat. You have to hurt people. You have to climb and trample over people to gain success. And that's not the case. If it gains you success in the dunya, it will not gain you success in the akhirah. What will gain success in the akhirah is being gentle and being easygoing with people. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to run at a loss or you have to, pay high prices for things or whatever. But it means that you look out for the other person. He's your brother at the end of the day. She's your sister at the end of the day. Yes, you want a good deal, you want to make a profit, but you don't want them to live in poverty either. So you have an idea of a fair price, you get your fair price, and you accept it. You don't drive that bargain down to the last one. I met a brother, and I'm not going to mention too much about him, because it's not, I don't think he would thank me for it, but he was one of the first people that I met that really I felt. I met him a long time ago. It really shocked me the way that he implemented this hadith. A very large company, employed a lot of people, and I got to work for him for a short time. And one of the things that I noticed is he was the opposite of what I expected a very successful business person to be. Complete opposite. First of all, whenever his staff, sometimes his staff will come and say, we're thinking of opening something, a company, or I want to move on to do my own thing. You say, yeah, let's do it, I'll help you out. And some even of his competitors, subhanAllah, he would like set them up and help them out, and if they got stuck, he would give them a hand. And one time I asked him about it, and before I applied it to this hadith, just generally, doesn't that hurt you? Hasn't that caused you problems? And what he said to me in a nutshell is that the benefits I've got from it have been a lot more than the harm that has come to me. I just been easy with people. And it's not the case that I'm going to give someone the keys to my account and say, take whatever you want. But if I can help a person, it doesn't hurt me. And they'll find their own niche in the market, they'll find their own place, they'll do their own thing. And usually it brings benefit back upon me. And subhanAllah, I came across this hadith and it reminded me of the barakah that you get when you have this characteristic in you, of being a person who is gentle and easygoing. And since then I've met many people who are like that, who go against that sort of typical idea that people have of being very cutthroat and harsh and hard and driving a hard bargain, and being someone who is a bit more easygoing. And like we said, there's wasatiyah in everything. You're not so easygoing that you live your life in poverty. But at the same time, you're not so harsh and hard-hearted that you cause other people to do the same. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum gave the most excellent example as it relates to this, when you see how they used to behave with each other in the marketplace. They were in the marketplace and many of them were selling similar things. You can imagine that, right? You can imagine that, the marketplace and the person next to you selling dates, and you're selling dates, and the one next to him is selling dates. But still you saw that love that they had between one another. And the Prophet ﷺ put certain rules in place that were revealed to him by Allah that made that easy, like not selling on your brother's patch. So you're not allowed when a customer comes up to your brother and says, can I buy these dates? That you come in and say, come on, buy them from me. I've got better quality and cheaper as well. You're not allowed to do that. The Prophet ﷺ made that haram. وَلَا تَبِعْ بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَيْءِ بَعْضٍ. Don't let one of you sell on his brother's patch, where you kind of go onto his market store and you take his customers over. But at the same time, they had healthy competition. One of them would try and sell a bit cheaper, and they had healthy competition between each other, but in a way that didn't cause hatred, didn't cause them to hate each other or to fight each other. They would go together, pray together in the masjid, and then go back to the store and try and make a profit for the day. So they gave one of the most beautiful examples of being tolerant and lenient and gentle as it relates to buying and selling. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Samah إِذَا قَضَى. Easy going when he, and here qada has a couple of different meanings. The meaning that is explained in the explanation that I have is that he gives what is due to him. That the meaning of qada is that when something is due to you, when something is due upon you. For example, you have to pay a debt back, or you have to give something back that belongs to someone else. You're easy going on it. And the other one is when you make a judgment. Because qada can be making a judgment. And that means a judgment that does not relate to something which is the haram in the sense that you're not going into the rights of Allah Azza wa Jalla. But when you make a decision, you're easy going. For example, when your family comes to you, maybe your kids have been fighting with each other, and they come to you and they're like, oh, Dad, she did this to me, Dad, he did this to me. And now you have to make a qada, you have to make a judgment between them. You're easy going. You're gentle and you're easy going. You don't take the rights of one away from the other. At the same time, it's not like you will come really harsh down on the two of them. You're easy going when you judge between people. And likewise, when you give the things that are within, that you have to give, Someone, you had to pay back a debt, you had an amana, you had to give it back. You're easy going. You're not a person that when the debt time, the person has to ring you like every day for a month. Brother, the debt that you owe me, next day. Brother, the debt that you owe me, next day. Brother, can I ask when you get, and you're avoiding the calls, and you're not ringing them back, you're not answering the phone, you're then avoiding them, they say, yeah, inshallah, tomorrow, but then you don't answer the call tomorrow. You're not a hard person to get hold of like that. When there's something that you have to give, you're easy. You're easy going. And there are times when you can't give. Sometimes it happens. So you're honest in those times, right? You're honest and you say, look, at this time, I'm struggling. I'm not going to be able to give it to you. Can I have another month? Can I have another 2 months? But you're easy on that topic. You're easy going. And the last part, Samah إِذَا اقْتَضَى. 2 meanings again. You're easy going when you seek a judgment. So many times when you seek a judgment with someone or against someone, it's within your choice to how strict you are with them. You can push it to a huge degree, or you can be a bit gentle with it. The one who gets the mercy of Allah is the one that when he seeks a judgment from someone, he is easygoing. So he doesn't push it to the maximum extent. We're not talking about the rights of Allah. The rights of Allah, the rights of Allah. You can't do anything about it. We're talking about when it's his right to forgive, or it's his right to push for a big penalty or a smaller penalty. He's a person who is easygoing. And likewise, when he seeks someone to give what is his right to him. So for example, he gets the money back for the debt, or then he needs to take money from someone that they owe him. He's easygoing when he gets that money, or when he looks for that money. So if he doesn't get hold of the person, or the person's avoiding him, he sends them a message and says, be patient, child, don't worry, I'm not going to chase you for it, I'll give you another couple of months, to make them feel easy about it. So this is one of the most comprehensive ahadith on the topic of Samah and Tasamuh. And when does it become Tasamuh? It becomes Tasamuh when we all do it to each other. So if I behave like that in business to you, and you behave like that in business with me, and I behave like that when the right is yours, and you behave like that when the right is mine, then it becomes Tasamuh. The topic that we're dealing with today, of tolerance, it becomes Tasamuh when we do it for each other. Because remember we said, Tasamuh is tafa'ul, it means reciprocal. Reciprocally behaving in a way that is reciprocal. I do it to you and you do it to me. And the person taking the mercy of Allah has to try to get these in all 4 of these characteristics. When there's something owed to him, when he's the one that owes it to someone else, when he's seeking a judgment, when a judgment is being made by him, when he's buying and when he's selling, in all of these situations he has to be easygoing. And of course buying and selling, al-bay' is a big topic. It covers also things like nikah, marriage and other things like that. A person is easygoing in terms of agreeing things like mahar and what have you. This hadith is a comprehensive hadith about as-samah and at-tasamuh. We only have about 2 minutes or so left, and here it says that there are 2 sisters that want to take shahada. Inshallah, that's beautiful. Abdullah, how is the best to do this? Is there a sister that can? They have a mic. Okay, they have a mic on the sister's side. Okay, inshallah. So before they take shahada, what we usually do for everyone who takes shahada is to just take a minute, just to give a recap about what Islam is. Now that doesn't mean that they don't know, because I'm sure that the guys from Narrated Aisha R.A. and from IIC have already explained these things. But whenever I take shahada, I like to just take the most important points and just remind everybody about what it is that you're testifying to. So in like a 30-second or 1 minute summary, really what Islam is to dedicate every single act of worship to Allah alone. so that when we pray and all of the other acts of worship we do, our supplications, our prayers, our dua and so on, all of them are only for God alone. And nobody else gets a share. Not a prophet, not an angel, not Jesus, not Muhammad, peace be upon them both. It's only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And along with that, to believe that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the final messenger of Allah Azza wa Jalla, that Allah sent messengers and prophets, among them Jesus son of Mary, who was a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and that the last of all of the prophets who came with the most complete and the final religion for all of mankind is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then from there, all of the requirements that Islam has, like performing the prayers and so on. So that's a nutshell of what a person is agreeing to. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the Shahada, the testimony of faith. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat it in Arabic, so if the sisters can just say it after me, word by word. Okay? So I'll say a word and then they can say a word, inshallah. Is that okay? So the testimony of faith is exactly what I said. I bear witness there is no God worthy of worship except Allah. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. So we say it word by word in Arabic. Ashhadu.
Ashhadu.
An la ilaha illallah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammed Rasulullah. That's all it takes for a person to become a Muslim, to say that I bear witness there is no God that deserves to be worshipped except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, peace be upon him, is the messenger of Allah. Are we going to do that again for the other sister, or did she say it already? Again? Okay. One more time, inshallah, this one for the other sister. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Wa ashhadu anna So now, inshallah ta'ala, we hope that the sisters from Islamic Information Center are going to look after the two new reverts, going to take care of them, inshallah. Before we finish, I just got 3 little points that I give for every person who becomes Muslim. So they're very, very simple. The first one is continuous learning. So to be successful as a new Muslim, the very first thing you have to do is keep on learning something new every day. The second one, put it into practice. The third one, surround yourself with good people who are going to help you to do that. And I think if you could do these 3 things, and especially focusing on praying and how to pray, inshallah you'll be absolutely fine as a new Muslim. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and to bless us, and to give you firm iman, and to make you from the Muslims whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enters into paradise on the day of resurrection. So inshallah ta'ala we'll take a break there for Salat al-Maghrib.